Okay, guys, if I can, I just put this one in the background behind me. Nicely recorded for. So the test, the theory test, if you guys want to take a few notes here, I can tell you what to focus on for the theory. Is there in here? Where's there? Is he lost the
Sure,
action?
you went to the facility to make another sandwich.
Aaron, we're gonna start, bud. He's here. Okay. So there will be a few questions, guys, like I told you about GFCI and AFCI. So GFCI locations, AFCI locations, weatherproof locations, and tamper-resistant location. Can I have thumbs up, Chad? We fully understand. So Aaron, there will be multiple questions about which receptacles in which location need GFCI protection or AFCI protection or weatherproof protection, weather resistant, or tamper resistant. These very, very important locations. You guys review these ones. We talked about them. Very, very important locations. Layout, the rules for layout your receptacles. The rules for make sure, so the first thing, GFCI, AFCI, weatherproof, and tamper-proof locations. Cool? The second set of questions, guys, would be layout receptacles in dwellings. The rules. There are two major rules we talked about, 6/12, in any habitable place, in dwelling, only dwelling. We're doing dwellings. 6/12 and 2x4. 2x4 is countertop, the 2x4 for the countertop, and 6/12 is for all the habitable spaces. Remember also receptacles in the front and the back of the dwelling. You have to have one in the front, one in the back, one in unfinished basement. So these locations, all of them, guys, and you're going to find them in the code. It's open code book, so go to the code and find the ones. Peninsulas need one, islands need one. The location of receptacles in dwellings. Please review that. Yeah, absolutely. 210.52. A lot of stuff is from 210.52. Raw mix or unnamed cable, guys. If you have questions about raw mix or unnamed cable in terms of ambiguity, in terms of support, in terms of stabling it from the box, so everybody knows where to go to find information about unnamed cable. Article chapter 3 in the secret book has a whole article. If I tell you how far you have to stable the unnamed cable, 4.5. If you don't know if it's 4.5, where do you find it? Support in an article that talks about unnamed cable. So make sure you know the support for an unnamed cable, how far, 4.5. From every box, 8 if it's non-metallic, 12 if it's metallic, inches, you support it. Ambiguity is, how do we do the ambiguity of an unnamed cable? Based on which column? 60-degree column. There's some questions about re-identifying the neutral. You guys remember when we said you can re-identify conductors of a certain size, number 4 or larger? You can use a black as a grounded conductor, but you have to label it with what? With a white. You can use a black conductor as a grounding conductor, but you have to label it with what? So these are number of conductors, number 4 or larger. Number 6 and smaller, they have to be color coded, right? If you use it for a grounded conductor or grounding conductor, they have to be color coded white, gray for grounded, and green or bare for ungrounded, for grounding. Did everybody get that one? Identification of grounded and grounding conductor. This should be in the code book, and let me see where, if I can get the table. This is 11, just after here, page 417. I have the page. Check in page 148 in our code book. not the code book, the book that we have. I'll dig it up for you here. Identification should be chapter 3, I believe. Yep, page 148 in chapter in the electrical wiring. There's a few questions, guys, about color code of ungrounding conductor, grounding conductor, and equipment grounding conductor. Everybody knows I can use pink as phase, right? If you want to. The only limitation when you guys have ungrounded conductor, the phases, is you can't use a green or gray or white, right? Other than that, you can use any color you want. If you have a non-grounding receptacle, the 2 prongs, not the 3, non-grounding receptacle, the code requires you, and you will replace it. So what are your options when you will replace a non-grounding receptacle? It's defaulted, so you need to replace it in a dwelling. What are your options? It's a multiple choice. I can tell you one of them is UFCIN. So this will be in Article 406 or 04, I think 406 or 04. 404 or 406. All this description.
You say it was again, is
Replacing a non-grounding receptacle. So there's a few things. The use of flexible metallic conduit and non-flexible metallic conduit in a dwelling. Review the chapter that talks about flex and non-flex, especially in dwellings. Where do we typically use the flex in a dwelling? We use a NAM cable almost everywhere. So make sure you guys review the locations. I can give you a hint, tied to equipment. Another hint, air handling unit, not air handling unit, air conditioning is one of them. Water heater. We talked about heaters, guys. Remember baseboard heaters? And we said if you can't put the receptacle right above the baseboard heater. So there will be questions about where can you put a receptacle if there is a baseboard heater.
Unless it's a dead spot.
Unless it's a dead spot, you can't put it right above the heater part, the heating part of that. So location of receptacle where you have a baseboard heater, not above the baseboard heater. Voltage drop recommendation in the NEC code book. Anybody remember them? On feeders and branch circuits. That would be in Article 210 and also 215. 5 and 3 percentage. It's actually in 2 locations, in 215 and also 210 for branch circuit. And it's an information note only.
Difference or branch?
No, same note.
Same at 3%.
Same 3 and 5. So, okay. Receptacles, guys, this might be a little bit confusing for you. When you have a receptacle, the terminals will be kind of color coded, silver, brass, or green. So can you identify that one? Make sure you identify with the receptacle. When you look at them, some will be brass, other will be silver terminal, and green terminal. And everybody knows what the green is used for, right? So basically the silver and the brass, what do we use them for? Grounded conductor or grounding conductor? There will be a couple of questions, guys, about identifying the temperature of the insulation. Andrew, for example, if I give you an insulation and I tell you my insulation is THHW, what's the temperature rating of this insulation? 2 H's means what? 90 degree. 1 H in the name means 75. No H in the name means 60. If you don't remember this, just go to 310.15b16, the table. Go to 310.15b16 and you will, if I tell you what's the insulation rating of TW, and you don't know it's 60, go to 310.15b16. You see where the temperature rating, look underneath it and see where does TW sit under which column. Does that make sense, Joe? That's how you find the insulation for that particular conductor. The multiple choice or match. Yeah. Please understand the meaning of listing and labeling of equipment. Listing the equipment and labeling them. That's in the definition. Article 100 definition, listing and labeling. Please understand the term nationally recognized testing laboratory. What do they do for a living like UL? What is a nationally recognized testing laboratory like UL, and what do they do for a living? Make sure you understand that. This is from one of the chapters, I think chapter 1 or chapter 2 talk about that. This one might, for some of you, the electrician's piece of cake, but non-electrician might confuse you. If you have a glass wall, and the glass wall is more than 2 feet, you need to have a receptacle. How are you going to put a receptacle in a glass wall? It will cost you an arm and leg to put a receptacle in a glass wall. Anybody knows what do we do typically? Thank you, floor. So if you can't put the receptacle because of the rule 6-12 in a wall, they allow you to put it, I believe if I remember, 18 inches, within 18 inches of the wall, you can put it in the floor. You see this a lot, guys, in places where they have glass walls, but it has to be fixed glass wall though. If it's movable door, doesn't count. You have a whole wall that's glass in a dwelling, you need to put a receptacle. You're not going to go bust the glass and put a receptacle in it. They allow you to put it in the floor, within 18 inches of the wall. Gentlemen, if you paid attention to what I said, you're going to use it. That's really is. Any comments, any questions? What I'm hoping, guys, we can finish. I would like you guys to finish the lighting. Please focus today on finishing the lighting so we can print E1. E5 and E8 on Friday. We'll be on track. E6? Is it E6? Yeah, E6 and 9. What did they say? Yeah, E6 and 9. Looking at the bottom. Thank you.